Welcome back to Conservation Conversations. Welcome, everybody. It's been really a pleasure doing this third series because we've been talking to a lot of people about conservation of nature itself and biodiversity. And as you know, that's something that feeds into Stornoway's lyrics and our whole approach, really. And at the Royal Albert Hall show a couple of months ago, we showcased some of that by means of the soundscapes and field recordings that we brought in and made them swirl around your heads in 360. To those that weren't there, one of the things you may have seen us posting about was the real highlight moment for us was the collaboration with this choir. Well over 50 of them on stage with us, and they kept quiet for most of the gig, all the way up until we went to the other side of the hall and started to sing Josephine, almost a cappella, just with very limited amplification, and we sang it in the wrong key. But miraculously, and because they're so brilliant, this choir called Syrinx came in on the right key and corrected us and helped us make the performance a really special one for the ages. And today I'm really thrilled to be joined by the director of the Syrinx choir, Ben C. Hello, Ben. Welcome. How are you doing today?
Hi, Ollie. Yeah, thanks for having me. Really nice to be here. Nice to chat, and really nice to be reminded of that amazing concert we had. It was a very, very special thing for us to do. So thank you so much for inviting us to join you. It was, yeah, it will live with us for a very long time.
Well, I know we'd been also trying to collaborate for a long time. We thought about getting you guys in at the Union Chapel gig, didn't we? We had all these schemes about how to make something happen there, but it took a stage of the size and the magnificence of the Royal Albert Hall to really, I think, give us the space for a collaboration that special. So
Yeah, we're a
good on
big
you
choir,
guys.
so yeah, we didn't quite fit in in the Union
Yeah,
Chapel, but Royal Albert Hall
yeah,
was a good sized venue for us,
yeah.
and actually that was the biggest we've ever been for that gig. We were 70
Right.
performers for the Royal Albert
Yeah.
Hall show, which is the biggest we've ever been. Usually, when we do concerts, there are a few people who sort of can't make it, but for this concert, every single singer pretty much was there.
That's great. I know that we put in months of hard work there, and so the audience listening today won't have been aware, but we put in many rehearsals and also some studio time recording with you guys, and some of the results of that might be featuring on a release later this year. We'll share the news as and when. But yeah, the Stornoway Syrinx relationship is now quite well established, and I hope we do more in future. And then today, it would be great to hear about what else Syrinx is up to. You've got a very busy gigging calendar coming up. I saw you guys singing as part of Hayden Thorpe's performance back in December, which was brilliant. And you were then pretty much the next week going to head up to Orford Ness to do the music with him, which was a collaboration with Robert McFarlane, who you've done work with in the Barbican. So what's next on the Syrinx horizon that folks in the audience today can get excited about?
Yeah, we are. This term, we're collaborating with a really wonderful musician called Jamie Doe, who makes music under the name The Magic Lantern, and he's just a brilliant kind of heart on sleeve singer songwriter who writes these really thoughtful, really sensitive songs, which sort of lend themselves quite naturally to sort of choir collaboration in a way. I would say he has a lot in common with Stornoway in that his songs have a lot of heart to them and a lot of kind of meaning and message in them, and it felt like a really good fit for a kind of choir collaboration. So we're doing a concert with him at the end of this term. Um, I wish I could remember the date. It's a Tuesday night in July, and that's going to be really special at a beautiful church in Marylebone, and yeah, and it's going to be exciting, and it's a beautiful venue to sing in and beautiful songs to kind of m- m- weave our voices around. So it's an exciting collaboration, and it's actually come off the back of lots of really exciting collaborations that we've had recently, including collaborating with you guys, and it's a
Thanks.
very special thing.
Yeah, we've been aware of Jamie's work for almost since we started as a band over 20 years ago, because he's had something to do with the scene in Oxfordshire and the Magic Lantern. So, yeah, strongly recommend everyone go out and check out that performance, Magic Lantern and Syrinx, on the 14th of July.
Thank you.
I know you've also running the summer workshop with Ranjana Gatak, and you're working with Alice Boyd, who is supporting us or supported us recently in May, and someone we've just been fascinated by ever since we saw her supporting Sam Lee and Erlen Cooper a couple of years ago. We've
Mm.
become closer and closer to Alice. I hope to do more with her, but that'll be 18th of August. Is there anything you can reveal about that one?
Yeah, so actually, those two workshops you just mentioned are really exciting. Basically, over the summer in August, the choir kind of stops our usual rehearsal schedule, and what we do is we organise workshops to kind of keep the singing going during the long summer break. And I kind of see it as an opportunity to do something a bit different. So we've invited two leaders who do very different things to come and sort of take our singing in slightly different directions. So yeah, we're going to be working with a wonderful Indian vocalist called Ranjana Ghatak, who's going to be doing a workshop, kind of like an introduction to Indian singing. And then we'll be working with Alice Boyd. And I don't totally know what that workshop's going to look like yet, but I think a part of it, or at least a flavour of it, will be kind of creating some kind of new music with Alice and the participants in the room. And it might be that we sing some of Alice's existing music as well.
Mm.
But I should also say that those two workshops are open to anybody. So if you're in London over the summer and fancy coming and having a sing, then please come and join us. The sessions are open to all, and it'd be really lovely to welcome some new people into the kind of Syrinx space and the Syrinx world. So do come and have a sing.
Yeah, we're all about choral collaboration and helping people find a community through music, and those sound like two great opportunities. The other thing I wanted to uh, venture is maybe with Alice you maybe you end up doing some of the rain sound effects that I saw you do at the Hayden gig, where everyone put their knuckles together.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
a lot of what Alice does is field recordings, isn't it, and the sounds of nature. So I suppose I could imagine that being that working quite nicely.
That could be a lot of fun. Yeah, we'll sort of see what comes from Alice's brain and
Yeah,
see where she
yeah,
takes it. But yeah,
yeah.
that could definitely happen.
Great. And somehow in the background, you also have time for the really wonderful work with as Ben and Dom. So you guys are releasing stuff all the time and touring. Anything coming up on the horizon for the Ben and Dom duo?
Yeah, so I sing in a collaboration with another choir leader and a singer called Dominic Stitchbury. And we kind of met through the community choir world because both of us were running choirs in and around London. And then, kind of just before lockdown, really, we started singing together. And for both of us, it felt like something that we needed to explore. So we sort of have, over the last few years, lent into it and become a kind of singing duo. And part of what we do is we teach, and we love kind of bringing people into song, but we also share a little bit of what we do as singers. And we do a range of things, but we do a lot of workshops, but we also do these kind of singing weekends where we invite participants to come and join us for a weekend of kind of making music together. Come and essentially become a choir for the weekend, and we learn a load of repertoire and we have a big sing. And they're really special. They're really kind of bonding, and they're fun. And we just get to meet a whole load of people in song and sort of share together for a weekend of singing. So if that sounds of interest to anybody, then please come and join us. All welcome. Our next one is coming up in Matlock in Derbyshire, beautiful in the kind of Derbyshire Dales. So yeah, come and join us.
Excellent, thank you. Well, I want to now explore our conservation questions. So we always ask guests the same ones here. I think I'll start with because we're talking about going out on the road and doing gigs in all sorts of places. The one about nature. So, is there a venue or a place that brings nature into to be part of the music making or creative process? A place that means something to you that involves getting out in the great outdoors?
Yeah, a couple of places spring to mind. So at the moment, I'm not too far from where you are in South London. I'm just in kind of near Forest Hill, and there's a very beautiful, quite dense woodland here called Sydenham Woods. And I've spent a great deal of time there. And actually, me and Dom have spent some time there as well, kind of singing in under the trees. And we filmed a couple of videos there. And that's like I would say, an important space for people who live in South London to kind of get away from it. And yeah, I think lots of people retreat into Sydenham Woods at various points. and lots of creativity happens there. And then the other place actually that comes to mind is a place called Farthing Down, which is a little bit further out. It's in kind of Zone 6, Coulston way, accessible on the train. And it's this beautiful kind of big stretch of hill, which kind of, if you're sort of stood at the right angle, you can sort of imagine you're not in Zone 6 of London. And me and Dom actually had a very special day there in the heights of lockdown, when once they started to slightly relax the rules a little bit. And there was a period when you're allowed to be outdoors with a group of 30 people. And there were two of us, so we took a group of 28 singers up Farthing Down for a day of singing. And we called it our Wild Singing Day. Or actually, we called it our Almost Wild Singing Day, because we were still in Zone 6. But we had this sort of very special afternoon of singing together with a whole group of people. None of us had done anything like that for a long time. And it was just a very special day. And so that kind of always sticks in my mind as a sort of special moment. And actually, as part of that day, we wrote a song called Heading Home, which we've since taught many, many times to groups and choirs and get sung a little bit. And it's a little bit of a kind of calling card for us. And just as a song, it feels very special to us because of that moment, because of that story. So those are the
Yeah.
two places that come to mind.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I'll definitely have to pay that Farthing Down a visit at some point. I'd never heard of that one before.
Yeah, it's a good
I
walking
think,
spot.
yeah, and that's definitely something we're going to need a lot of once we get back from the Beyond the tour, because it can be 2 weeks stuck in the tour bus, not moving very much, except for the crowd surfing. That's something that Stornoway likes to do. Imagine if we
Okay.
could get Stornoway and Songs Choir all crowd surfing. So
We could
it might,
probably crowd surf you up Farthing Down.
yeah,
There's enough of
yeah.
us.
Excellent. Okay, I want to move to our question about conservation of musical traditions now. So, in all the writing you've been doing and the arranging for choirs, you must have come across some really great examples of taking an old school tradition, perhaps in folk music or classical world or anything else, and breathing new life into it. So, what would be an example you want to share with everyone that blends the old with the new?
Yeah, I think actually the choir world is really good at this, because loads of choirs explore traditional repertoire but bring it into kind of contemporary settings. In Syrinx, we sing quite a lot of old songs alongside new songs, and lots of the artists we're drawn to do similar things. So one of the oldest songs we sing is a song called Bonnie Portmore, which is a very, very beautiful old Irish song about kind of tree felling. And it's kind of a love letter to a particular tree called the ornament tree, which the English are felling for shipbuilding. So the English don't come off that well in this song, but it's a beautiful melody and a really kind of poignant song. And it's maybe, possibly one of the earliest examples of a kind of environmental protest song which sort of sings from nature. And I was introduced to the song by Sam Lee a while back, and sort of just knew that I had to arrange it for choir. And that's a very special song. But also, we sing lots of more contemporary songs which nod to tradition and songs that have kind of paved the way for them. And there are lots of artists who are doing amazing work in that world. I would put Stornoway in that camp as well. Your
Thank
song
you.
Josephine is a very special song for us. And actually, we sing a song called Lowlands Away, which is a
Mm.
kind of sea shanty. And, I think the two songs, Josephine and Lowlands Away, feel very linked. And, it feels like it's kind of honoring that tradition and moving, taking that world in another direction.
Mm.
Yeah, and lots of artists. Actually, just as a listener, we haven't done anything with this artist, but as a listener, I've been listening a lot recently to a singer called Olivia Cheney, who also does a similar thing and sings a lot of traditional songs alongside her self-penned songs. And there's something very timeless about what she does. Um,
I will
yeah,
definitely pay her some attention. I'd heard the name, but never really. Yeah, I'm sure I'll go on a journey of discovery now. Thank you for the recommendation.
yeah, she's a wonderful singer, wonderful singer.
Yeah. One of the singers that most inspired my own journey into this world of fusing new sounds and even synthetic layers onto traditional songs was someone I know you've had a lot to do with, to Kerry Andrew,
Mm,
especially in her days as You Are Wolf, when think I saw her playing the Irregular Folks session in Oxford, and then actually I was programming gigs in some to some extent at the time, and booked Kerry for one or two things, and yeah, she just was such an inspiration for me at the start of this whole thing, and is the reason I now I'm really deep into trad songs, and I learn a new one every day in a slightly obsessive project of mine. But can you tell us a bit about inspiration that you drew from Kerry's work?
yeah, so I share that experience with you because Kerry is also a huge source of inspiration for me. So I did music at York University a very long time ago now. Kerry was also at York University, but a few years above me. So Kerry came back with her vocal ensemble Juice to do some kind of workshops while I was a student there. And so I met Juice and met Kerry, and yeah, was kind of very interested in the work that Kerry was doing, and sort of, I sort of looked at Kerry's work and life and thought that's basically what I want to do. And very kindly, Kerry has always been very nice to me and sort of looked out for me a little bit in a kind of professional sense. And yeah, in fact, that gig you mentioned, the Irregular Folks gig in Oxford, I think could well have been the gig that I was also singing at
Mm.
as the kind of opening act for Kerry in Kerry's Guys as You Are Wolf. But yeah, Kerry is a choral composer, an author, a writer, a folk singer. Yeah, sort of overall of it. And recently, Kerry has arranged the Spell Songs, Rob McFarlane, Jackie Morris Spell Songs project for choir. Kerry's done 10 choral arrangements of those songs. And Syrinx were very lucky to be involved in the kind of launch concert of that project, which was a very special event.
I believe that's the one that the Symphonia, right?
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
exactly, yeah.
I managed to, in fact, I've got the most heartwarming video where my toddler is sitting next to me, and it's the first gig she, was proper sit down gig with focus that she's ever been to. She's been to rock gigs and sort of hung out backstage, but she sat through, and when I turned the camera on her, she was just her face was lit up watching the choir and clapping along, and I was really proud to have managed to keep her quiet enough for enough of the gig that she stayed focused and could appreciate it. But it was, I think, largely the magic of those songs and the way you guys were performing them, with the sound choir being the second choir who were with you on stage. Yeah, really special experience. Thanks for that.
Yeah, and actually, what was so nice about those gigs was how kind of family friendly they were, and there was a real mixed audience, a huge mix of ages, and
Mm,
that's a very special thing, and that's
mm.
sort of part of the vision of those original books. So it was very special that those concerts also kind of engaged younger people as well.
Yeah, great. Oh, well, thanks, Ben. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you. And is there anything else you'd like to mention to the audience to get them excited about? We've been through some of the gigs coming up with Syrinx and Ben and Dom and other things, but anything I've forgotten?
Well, really nice to chat to you, and thanks so much for having me on. But yeah, actually, off the back of the Spell Songs project that we were just talking about, Spell Songs are touring in the autumn,
Mm.
and as part of that project, they're doing two Spell Songs kind of scratch choir events, one in Bristol and one in Cambridge. And so there are a couple of workshops over the summer for anybody who wants to come and take part and sing the Lost Words Blessing. So come and join us. Come and get involved. The Cambridge one, the workshop is on the 25th of July, and the Bristol one is the 31st of August. And they're kind of open to all singers. So if you fancy singing one of those new arrangements, then come and get involved. They're going to be really, really special events. And both of them will culminate in a kind of informal performance before the actual Spell Songs show. So I think it would be a very special thing to be involved in, and I'm really excited to be involved.
That's great. Okay, so many recommendations for people there. I'm going to have to type this all up into some notes and tag all the right people, and make sure that we send Stornoway fans in the direction of these events, especially anyone who wants to, maybe has never tried singing in a group. It's one of the most affirming things. So thanks to
Totally. I
Ben
mean,
and to
I spend a lot of my time trying to get people singing, so I
Mm,
can't stress enough how great a thing singing is for people. So if you haven't
yeah,
done any singing, but you're at all curious, then please get involved.
yeah,
It's such a special thing to do, and I would say there are choirs out there for everybody. Whatever kind of music you're in, whatever kind of thing you're looking for, there are so many choirs at the moment. So I'm
yeah,
sure you can find something that's a good fit.
yeah. Brilliant. Thank you very much.